The story picks up 5 years after Malorie and the children found refuge at the school for the blind. The place has become more secure and self-sustaining. Though fear of the outside world still looms, Malorie has grown more hardened, and the children, now teenagers, crave knowledge about the world beyond the walls. Tensions rise between safety and curiosity. Malorie, still traumatized by past losses, trains the children on survival, blind navigation, and silence. Meanwhile, whispers spread about nearby communities who have started capturing the creatures, claiming they can control them. Malorie dismisses these as dangerous myths meant to lure people out. One day, a stranger named Lucas arrives at the school. Blindfolded and badly injured, he brings tales of a fortified colony down the river, where researchers study the creatures. Lucas claims they've found a way to coexist without blindfolds using sound waves that neutralize the creature's effects temporarily. Some survivors are tempted by the idea, but Malorie remains skeptical and warns them of false hope. However, the children boy now called Adam and girl now calling herself Lily are secretly intrigued. They begin speaking privately with Lucas, asking questions about the outside and the colony. Lucas regains strength and pleads with Malorie to let them join him back to the colony. She refuses, haunted by the past. At night, Adam and Lily quietly pack essentials and leave with Lucas, determined to find the truth for themselves. Malorie awakens and discovers their absence. Panicked, Malorie sets off on a dangerous journey to retrieve them. She's joined by Rick, one of the school's guards, who feels responsible. They navigate down the river again, blindfolded and silent, through increasingly dangerous terrain and unsettling sounds. Meanwhile, Adam, Lily, and Lucas reach the outskirts of the colony. They witness eerie but organized patrols, people with headphones and goggles, managing strange humming machines. They're brought inside after showing they're uninfected and taught about the pulse emitters that create safe zones. Inside the colony, the children meet Dr. Kent, the leader of the research group. She explains that they've been studying frequencies that distort the creature's ability to influence human brains. However, the tech is unstable and only works in small areas for short durations. As the kids settle into the colony's structure, they notice the people here seem emotionally disconnected. Everyone is cold, mechanical, and calm to a disturbing level. Dr. Kent reveals a chilling truth: they suppress emotional spikes chemically to avoid attracting the creatures. Back with Malorie, she and Rick encounter a rogue group calling themselves the Seers, humans who deliberately look at the creatures and worship them. These Seers attempt to remove Malorie's blindfold, forcing Rick to kill one of them during a struggle. Malorie's journey becomes even more urgent as she fears the Seers are growing in numbers. The group claims the creatures are divine and that accepting their visions leads to transcendence. Their leader, known as the Voice, is said to be near the colony. Inside the colony, Adam starts questioning the cost of safety. He misses the warmth and humanity of the school. Lily, however, is fascinated by Dr. Kent's scientific ambitions. She sees potential in creating a future where the world is livable again. Dr. Kent secretly gives Lily access to a testing chamber where they expose animals to the creature's influence under controlled conditions. Lily is disturbed by the effects but impressed by the precision of the experiments. She begins helping with data logging. Adam starts sneaking outside the safe zone to feel normal, again risking exposure. He hears strange whispers and sees shadows, but nothing attacks. He begins believing he might be immune. Lucas warns him not to test that theory, revealing he once believed the same and lost his wife to it. Malorie and Rick finally reach the colony, only to find the gates closed. A patrol captures them and takes them to a secure chamber. Dr. Kent, upon learning who Malorie is, agrees to meet with her personally. Tension rises as they confront their opposing ideologies. Malorie demands to see her children. Dr. Kent allows it, but under surveillance. The reunion is emotional but fractured. Adam blames her for keeping them locked away 4 years. Lily tries to convince her that the colony offers progress. Malorie warns them that the cost is their humanity. Dr. Kent offers Malorie a place in the colony and access to research. She refuses. That night, she sneaks into the lab and discovers files showing early tests on humans. Many died. Some went mad and disappeared into the woods, possibly becoming Seers. The next morning, chaos erupts as the Seers launch a surprise assault on the colony. They breach the perimeter, releasing creatures by breaking the pulse emitters. Dr. Kent orders the use of chemical suppression, but it fails to stop the Seers. In the madness, Lily gets separated and runs into the Voice, the Seer leader. He removes his blindfold and tries to convince her to look, saying the creatures are misunderstood. Teachers, Lily resists and is saved by Malorie and Rick just in time. Adam helps defend the colony with Lucas, who sacrifices himself to protect the children. The pulse emitters begin to fail across the base. Dr. Kent activates a final protocol to self-destruct the lab to prevent the research from falling into Seer hands. The group barely escapes before the colony is engulfed in flames. The creatures swarm the area, but do not follow them far. Malorie, the children, and Rick journey into the forest again, blindfolded and unsure of where safety lies. As the group journeys toward the mountain outpost, they pass through an abandoned city filled with evidence of a once thriving safe zone. They find messages scrawled on walls. It sees through sound now, and they evolve. Malorie begins to suspect the creatures are not just surviving, but adapting. This revelation shakes her, and she becomes even more protective of the children. One night, while sheltering in a subway tunnel, Adam hears soft singing in the distance. Drawn by the voice, he begins to walk toward it. Removing his blindfold, Malorie grabs him just in time. They realize the creatures may now be mimicking human voices to lure survivors using memories, tones, and even familiar phrases. Their intelligence seems to be growing. As they ascend the mountain trail, where the conditions worsen and the blizzard forces them into a cave. Inside, they find skeletal remains and journals from a previous group who attempted the same journey. The last entry details how one member began seeing visions without removing the blindfold, suggesting psychic, telepathic evolution in the creatures. Finally, after weeks of struggle, they reach the mountain outpost, a heavily fortified station. Built into the rock, they're welcomed by survivors wearing bone conduction headgear that blocks the creature's signals entirely. Malorie looks out over the vast wilderness below, realizing the fight for humanity isn't over. It's just evolving into something far more complex.